Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about budgeting and what you do if you go over budget. How do you change your budget? What do we do? All that kind of fun stuff. But before I get started, don't forget to subscribe. Just scroll down just a little bit and click that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you like budgeting videos. So moving right along. So this was one of the questions that I got back like the beginning of the year. I did like a huge channel survey thing, and a lot of people had questions about what do I do if I go over budget, or what do you, meaning me, do when I go over budget. So I thought I would just do a whole video on it and just kind of talk a little bit with you guys about it. So yes, we go over budget all the time, or I wouldn't say all the time, but frequently. We definitely go over budget. So we set a budget for the beginning of the month, and we use EveryDollar. We use EveryDollar every single month. We've used EveryDollar for the past 2 years plus some. And so we create our budget for the beginning of the month and try to get everything in there that we possibly can, that we can think of that will go on that month. So it's May, so you have to make sure Mother's Day is in there, and then Memorial Day weekend if you're going to do something. I had an eye doctor appointment this morning. That's why I keep wearing glasses, because I ran out of contacts, by the way. I had to budget for all that kind of stuff, and so things come up during the month that you may have forgotten about, or you ended up having to just eat out more than you thought you would, or gas prices shot up and your budgeted gas amount is not enough. So what we do is we just move numbers around. So I usually can tell well into when we're halfway through the month if we're going to be going over budget on any certain item or not. And if we are, then I have to find that money somewhere. So right now, a big chunk of our money is going to our emergency fund, and we should be completely done with that by the end of May, and I'm so excited. Like, my paycheck that's coming up on the 15th should cover the rest of the amount, and we should hit our emergency fund, and I'm super excited about that. So a lot of our money is going to that emergency fund, and then we're also having a little bit going towards our travel fund because we're going to Chicago this weekend, actually, and so that money is going towards that. So when we are going over budget on a certain item, like eating out, I'm going to go ahead and just use eating out as an example, because sometimes you just can't, like, it's just not happening eating at home. And an example for you guys is last week. So if you've watched my channel for a long time, you know I have a lot of health and medical stuff going on, and I have ulcerative colitis. And last week I had my first flare-up ever. And I've been in remission for like 8 years. Like, I've not had issues since I was first diagnosed 8 years ago. And last week we're still trying to figure out what happened, but I had a flare up, and I was out of commission for a good 3 or 4 days, and I never got a chance to go to the grocery store, never meal planned. We had no food in our house. So I wrote down a few things that I needed to help me, and my husband ran to the store and got just like those few items, and then got a few things for himself to eat for like breakfast and all that. But other than that, he ate out the rest of the time. And so yeah, our eating out budget just went away very quickly because, it just didn't happen. Life happened. And so to offset that bigger amount, we took, so he went to Chick-fil-A a lot. He has a Chick-fil-A right next to his work. So he would go there on his way home. And so that amount would then come out of our grocery budget. Since we weren't spending money on groceries, we just kind of offset our high eating out fund with our grocery fund. Does that make sense? So if you go over budget on a certain item, you need to find that money somewhere. Pull from your play money. We've done that before. And then, I know you probably don't want to hear this, but you can pull from the amount that's going towards your debt, or going towards your emergency fund, or going to whatever. That's where that extra money is, and that's where you're going to have to pull it from, unfortunately. Of course, throughout the month you need to be checking your budget, your EveryDollar account, and see where you are. I check ours every single day, but like I said, life happens, things happen. I was not anticipating last week to be sick for 4 days. I was feeling just fine, and then it just wham hit me one day, and I I mean, I was in bed all day, every day for 4 days, and it was horrible. But like, just life happens, and so you need to figure out where in your budget you can move things. We also keep kind of like a cushion in our bank accounts as well. I've talked about our bank account several times. My husband and I each have our own bank account, and so I keep about $100 cushion in my account, and then my husband keeps about $50 in his. So really, just in case if for some reason we just like the month is just like a wash, like it's just like the whole month just was horrible, like we do have a little bit of a buffer. We have pulled out of, like, we have a Christmas fund, sinking fund, so we have pulled money out of that to just cover our butts for a little bit until we got paid again. So I just want to encourage you guys, like, it's okay if you go over budget. Do you want to go over budget every single month for every single item? No, you do not want to do that. Try your absolute hardest to stay on that budget. That's what's going to help you hit your goals. That's what helped us get out of debt as fast as we did. It's what's helped us get through our emergency fund and getting our sinking funds all built up so quickly. I mean, budget is like the way to go, and I don't know what we would do if we did not have a budget. We would probably be in debt again. But I just want to like let you guys know that it's okay if you go over budget every once in a while. Like, just, you know, pick up your boots and you just keep going. You know what I mean? Like, you just say, well, you know, last month just really sucked. We went over big time on eating out and big time on our groceries, and so we just need to do better in the month of May. And make a plan for yourselves. Sit down with your accountability partner, your spouse, your friend, whoever is helping you, and say, okay, this is what happened last month. Why did we go over budget? And kind of figure out what you did that was wrong and try to figure out a way to fix that. So I can't remember what month it was. I want to say it was like February. We went over our eating out budget big time. Eating out is like our thing. Like, everybody has like their category, you know, that they just cannot stay on budget. Ours is eating out. And so we went over big time, and I told my husband, I was like, okay, for March, like, we cannot do this again. Like, I'm not going back into debt. Not like we were about to or anything, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm not backtracking. We're doing so good. We need to figure out what is going on. And basically, we were just getting lazy, and it was just a busy month for both of us, work-wise, and it was just easier to eat out, honestly. It's just easier to eat out. And so I decided, you know what? March, like, we're not doing this again. Like, we're going to stay on budget for our eating out. And so I made sure I meal planned every single week out. I did leave a cup. When I meal plan for a week, I always leave a day, maybe two, usually just one day where the dinner is eating out, just because I know it's going to happen at some point. So I'd rather have it in my meal plan already. And I don't know, it just seems to work better that way for us. But so I meal planned all of those days, and sure enough, we were halfway through the month, and we still had a good chunk of our play money left. And I was like, hey, look at us. Like, you know, in February, this was already gone by the 15th, and now it's, you know, March 15th, and we still have money in our play money account, you know. And so we were able to eat out a little bit more after that. But you really need to sit down and figure out where the problem lies and what you're doing wrong, and figure out a way to fix it. Come up with some kind of solution to fix it, and just get right back on your budget. You are going to fall off every once in a while, and it's okay. Every single person does. Like, there is not a person out there who has like stuck to their budget 100% their entire life. Like, it just doesn't happen, because life happens. So just know that you're not the only one that this has happened to. I've done it. Several YouTubers have done it. It just happens. But you need to figure out why it happened and what you can do to fix that. Leave a comment down below with tips and tricks that you have for staying on your budget, and what do you guys do when you go over budget. I would be really curious to hear all your different answers, and I know several people look forward to all these different comments on my videos to kind of see what other people are doing and different tips and tricks. And it might be really encouraging to see, like, hey, all these people are trying to get out of debt, and they have like gone off budget every once in a while. So, you know, like, I'm not the only one. I'm not a bad person for it. So leave a comment down below with any tips and tricks you have and what you do when you go over your budget. And I think that's about all. Leave any questions also if you guys have any. I'd be happy to answer them. And thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.